One country has quietly held its ground against some of the world's biggest economies, while others have crumbled under inflation, currency crises, and economic stagnation, and almost nobody is talking about why. Because this isn't just about numbers on a spreadsheet. This shift could change where money flows, where jobs grow, and even where people like you might want to live or invest in the future. If you've ever wondered why some countries suddenly get richer while others seem stuck, this story is for you. But here's the strange part. Australia's rise doesn't make sense, at least not at first glance. Let's start with the big picture. Australia is currently the 15th largest economy in the world by nominal GDP, sitting ahead of Switzerland, the Netherlands, and Saudi Arabia. That's a remarkable position for a country of just 27 million people. But what's more impressive than the rank is the staying power. Between 2019 and 2024 years, that included a global pandemic, inflation spikes, and a near worldwide cost of living crisis. Australia's economy grew by 11.1%. The average for advanced economies over that same period, just 7.8%. Australia didn't just survive, it pulled further ahead. Now here's where it gets personal. David, a 7-year-old retired miner in Perth, thought his best days were over after the 2015 commodity slowdown. His income dropped, his investments stalled, but then something flipped. Iron ore demand surged again, and suddenly his retirement fund started growing faster than he expected. I thought I'd be cutting back, he said. Now I'm earning more than I expected. But wait, if Australia has a fraction of the population of countries like Mexico or Turkey, why has it consistently outperformed them? That's when things get interesting. What if the secret isn't innovation? But what's buried underground? Australia is sitting on something the modern world desperately needs. Iron ore, natural gas, copper, and most importantly, lithium. Australia is currently the world's largest lithium producer, responsible for roughly 40 to 46% of all lithium mined globally in 2024, according to the US Geological Survey and the Australian government's own export data. That means every electric vehicle, every battery storage system, every clean energy transition has a direct line back to Australian soil. Helen, a 72-year-old retired teacher, didn't even realize this at first. She had invested a small amount in mining stocks years ago, nothing major. Then the EV boom happened. Her portfolio quietly doubled. I wasn't even watching, she said. It just kept going up. It feels like easy money. But here's the problem. Booms like this don't come without consequences. What if a richer country actually makes life harder for its own people? Australia's economy is growing, but so is the cost of living dramatically. According to the Totality Home Value Index, national median dwelling values rose nearly 10% in the year to early 2026. While wages grew at around 3% annually, that gap, millions of Australians feel it every single day. And it goes deeper than just home prices. Since 2019, Australian households have experienced the sharpest decline in real disposable income of any country in the OECD, a fall of 8% over just 2 years to March 2024, while the OECD average actually increased by 2.6% over the same period. Let that sink in. The country is growing, but the people inside it are, on average, getting poorer in real terms. Margaret, 70, has lived in Sydney her entire life. She watched her home value rise, which sounds great, until her expenses rose even faster. Property taxes, groceries, utilities. Eventually, she had to downsize. The country is richer, she said quietly, but I feel poorer. That's the paradox. Economic growth doesn't always mean personal comfort. So while Australia is rising, other countries are struggling for completely different reasons. While Australia maintained its position, countries like Turkey and Mexico hit invisible walls. Inflation, currency instability, slower productivity. Turkey's situation tells the story clearly. According to World Bank data, Turkey's annual inflation hit 72% in 2022 and remained above 50% through 2023. Imagine your savings losing more than half their real value in a single year. Carlos, 65, in Mexico City, is living a version of that reality. His pension hasn't changed, but everything else has. Food, rent, transportation. He's cutting back on basics just to keep up. I worked my whole life, he said, and now it feels like I'm going backwards. That's the difference. Australia is riding a wave. Others are fighting currents. But here's the twist. Even waves don't last forever. What happens when the world no longer needs what you sell? Australia's strength is also its biggest vulnerability. Lithium prices collapsed by roughly 75% between 2022 and 2024, forcing multiple Australian mining operations to suspend production as demand from the EV sector slowed and global supply surged. That's not a future scenario. That already happened. And it points to a pattern economists have documented for decades. Commodity-dependent economies face significantly higher growth volatility than diversified ones. When things are good, they're very good. But when they fall hard. George, 74, learned that the hard way. He invested heavily during a previous mining boom. Everything looked unstoppable until demand dropped. And his savings went with it. Now, he spreads his investments across multiple sectors. No boom lasts forever, he says. I learned that too late. So the real question is Australia truly winning? Or is it one commodity cycle away from a very different story? Because this isn't just about one country. It's about a pattern we've seen again and again. Fast growth, hidden risks, unexpected consequences. So let me ask you something. If you had to choose, would you invest your future in a fast-rising economy like Australia? Or a slower, more stable one like Switzerland? And more importantly, why? Drop your answer below. The best argument wins.